Welcome back, folks. I'm John Wu. I'm a postdoc from Pixel Lab, and this afternoon I will talk about more advanced function of the 3D segmentation navigation editing. I think in the morning, Alison probably talked about the theory of the automatic segmentation, and she also gave some examples on ultrasound image, and here I will give one more example about how to do the automatic segmentation. So for, if you look at your handouts, there are two exercises. The first one is 7A, and its objective is to automatically segment the 3 ventricles of a neonatal brain using the SNAP ROI tool in ITK-SNAP. And it will take about several minutes to finish that. And I will first to do the whole thing, and then you can have a try and let's see. So first you launch ITK-SNAP file, open grayscale image. Then go to the data folder under Materials, Session 7, Nav, 3D, and Data, and open the grayscale image as a region. So I already chopped the image in the middle of the brain. This is a neonatal T2, just 1 month old brain, T2 weighted MR brain. Then our goal is just to take out the ventricles, the left and right lateral ventricles, and also the third ventricle. So the next step is to load the initialization. I've already created for you guys. It's just the initial bubbles. So next, and this is the bubbles I have already placed there. Then you click the snake ROI tools and keep the original ROI and do segment 3D and choose the intensity regions. Then you load from files. That's the speed/feature file that defines the region we want to take out. The white region is actually the region of interest we want to take out. The blue one is just irrelevant. So this is just different thresholding of the intensity. But here in the T2 brain, you have a high intensity in the lateral ventricle and the third ventricle. So you do this, and you click next, and no need to place any bubbles. Just next again. So the final step 3 of 3 here. Keep the default parameters. Then choose step size 10 to make it fastest. Then you can just click go, the play button, to iterate continuously. So about, I would say, 1,000 iterations. The level set, the snake already will converge to the region we're interested. Then you can visualize a little bit. So this is the 3 ventricles, left, the right, and the third ventricle in the middle. Then you click finish. So, and if you want, you can save it as another file in the segmentation, as a segmentation file, and keep the results there. You can also visualize in the 3D view panel. So yeah, that's basically exercise 7A. So why don't you try this out, and let me know if you have any problem. And we will have a follow-up exercise next to try to edit this segmentation. So yeah, so that's just a summary of the last exercise. So right now there's only one color for all three ventricles, but if we want to separate them into three regions, left, right, lateral ventricle, and the third ventricle, then we have to do some 3D editing and navigation to finish to accomplish that. So let me just show you how to do that. So in this bottom left 3D view panel, you can rotate, basically rotate, zoom in, and pan the segmentation. So it's just rotate. It's just first you have to click the. I think that's the default. To click the 3D trackball. Then left button is just rotate. Rotates, and the right is to zoom in, zoom out, and the middle button is just to pan the segmentation. Now, if you have a mouse, that would be much easier to do. So that's just the 3D trackball, this function, this mode. Then if you click the keys, this mode is 3D navigation. Then you can click any point on the boundary of the segmentation at the 3D view panel. Then it will automatically find a point. And in the slice view panels, the crosshair will be synchronized. So you don't have to click the slices in order to find the points on the 3D rendering. So you can do the other way around. So you just click any point here, and you can find this is the third ventricle. Yeah, it will automatically be yoked with the slice window. So that's the second mode, is the 3D navigation tool. The third one is the scalpel tool that we will use to separate the previous segmentation into three parts. So you have to click the 3D scalpel. Then the first you have to rotate to the right angle to do that. You have to rotate to a good angle. Then change the label is, let's say, label 2. Then you click the 3D scalpel. Then place a cut plane right through the gap between the the third ventricle and the other lateral ventricles. So okay, so you think that's good? So it's a little bit inconvenient. You have to switch between these two modes in order to see it. So you don't forget to click. Otherwise, you will override the previous cut plane selection. Then you click accept. Actually, yeah, in the slice window, you can see already it turned green. But here you have to update mesh. And unfortunately, it will reset the view of of that. Then you have to rotate again. So that's a little bit inconvenient, but nothing serious. So then you do the second cut plane. And so you can see here the arrow is facing down. So you have to choose which side of the cut plane you want to apply this this label. But here it's probably the wrong side. Then you just reverse your order of your clicking. Just do the other side, and that will be fine. Accept. Then update mesh. Then click back. Okay, there's a little bit left over here. And you click the 3D scalpel again. And select. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Then you just do the other way. Okay. Then accept. Then update mesh. Okay. And when you want to rotate, you have to remember to click that rotate the 3D trackball mode. So you can see now you separate the third ventricle in the middle, the small one, from the lateral ventricles. Then you also want to separate the left from the right, the lateral ventricles. And here's a trick. You don't have to worry about the third ventricle anymore. Then you can just select the draw over label as label 2. So you will only modify the label 2 of this segmentation. So it will not affect the label 1, which is the third ventricle. Then you choose a new label, like label 3. Yeah, I think that's good. So then you click the 3D scalpel again. And you place a cut plane right in the middle through the septum pellucidum. Then up the mesh. Okay, so I think you're done when you see these 3 colors for the 3 ventricles. And now, you can try it out yourself to see if we have any problems to do that.
VRML or mesh file.
You can save as. Yes. So this is a good question. You can actually save these meshes.
Yeah.
Export as a surface mesh.
Yeah.
And then
space is only.
you have options. You can save either individual labels or you can export all of them together. If you do individual labels, then you can do VTK format or STL format.
Oh, you talk about STL. Oh.
If you do a scene, then it only VTK really works. STL I don't think supports
We
the
need a
scene.
VTK software or
Paraview.
directly.
Paraview is if you get.
We have to load.
Yeah. So should I have Paraview here?
Without Paraview, we cannot convert.
Well, I mean, you can convert, but then Paraview lets you open it and view.
Mesh lab.
Yeah, I think you might have another need another converter for Mesh Lab.
We have to open VTK.
Yeah.
So we can then do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. Subdivision. Didn't work. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so you can export it, and then this program, Paraview is a free program that you can use as a nice kind of mesh viewer and editor and stuff like that.
PLY.
Okay, thank you, John, and we're done with this session. Just a couple of questions that as I was walking around that came up with the 3D tools. So I was asked, what does this second button do here? And this button is for positioning your cursor wherever you click on the mesh. So your 3D cursor, you can click different places on the mesh, and your cursor gets positioned there. The other thing is, when you're doing this cut plane tool, your draw over selection here is very important. So to do these kind of tricks where you can cut off the third ventricle from the left and right lateral ventricles, you have to, you end up having to use the draw over. So you only affect a certain label rather than all the labels. Let me see if I can do this here on the spot. So I would do like this, accept, update, and then, well, actually, yeah, so let me see, I'm still doing to all labels, and I'm gonna do 3 like this. Okay, but now I got the bottoms of my lateral ventricles got painted blue. So how do I fix that? I'm just gonna, well, actually in this case I can do it without, I can do this without using the draw over label. I'll just do a red over all labels. But some situations, if I drew this red cut plane, there would be some piece of green that I would be inadvertently erasing. So in order to prevent that, I would set my draw over to blue, and then only the blue would get updated. And so that's kind of, once you get comfortable with this tool, it's good for editing segmentations. The other thing about hiding these boxes, I was asked. So if you go to Tools, there's a Display Options feature, and there are a lot of things you can customize about the snap appearance. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can just read through and see different options, how the slice views are laid out. But here under the Appearance tab, you can customize the appearance of a lot of different things in Snap, including the 3D window crosshairs, for example. You could hide them. The 3D window image cube, you can hide it as well. But you can also change a lot of things like the crosshairs. I can change the color. I can make them really thick, for example. So you see, I made my crosshairs green and thick. So, like when you're preparing publications, this can be very helpful to customize how you want things to look. There's also X key, which hides all of the GUI, all of these overlays. So if you need a figure for a paper and you don't want all these letters in the corners, although I like when people leave the letters because then I know they use Snap to produce their figures. And it's kind of fun to see that in papers. But if you don't want that, then you hit the X button and all this stuff disappears. And Shift X just hides the crosshairs. Okay, so I think that was all the questions that I got. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to start talking about Convert 3D. And so Phil Cook and Sandy Das are going to go take us through the initial and more advanced usage of C3D.